we are actually ready to jump into Game 3. Tied up 1-1. Dark versus Elazer continues on.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Our player in the bottom right in the blue from Korea, he is
Gosu Crew, Dark.
And his opponent in the upper left in the red from Poland, he is
Ego Esports, Elazer.
I mean, there were definitely a lot of things to talk about on Thunderbird. I think even having all those queens where they were, Elazer saw how high the Muda count was. Like, if all of those queens are backed up by just a single Spore Crawler, the Mudas actually can't take a fight like that. You know, the Spore pushes out so much damage, it changes everything. Like, Elazer didn't lose that game at one particular moment, but he made 3 or 4 big mistakes that allowed Dark to come back into that game. And I honestly think for a pro gamer, those are the toughest defeats. You know, if they just have a regular game, you know, you make roaches, I make roaches, and eventually Dark played a little bit better, or he had a hit squad that did enough damage. It's like, all right, I can shake it off, you know. He took one, I'm gonna try to take the next one. But like when you're 1-0 up in a best of 5, and you have such a good spot in the second game, and you kind of throw it away yourself, mentally, I think those are the toughest games to swallow.
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more, Roddy. I think that it really is a scary reality check when you have that experience. You go, oh, okay, this guy really does seem to be pretty crafty in any situation.
Because you start asking yourself, like, if I can't win those games, what kind of games am I going to win, right? Because it's really hard, obviously, to win a ZVZ against Dark. You know, like I said, I had a little chat with Elazer this morning, and he said that he didn't expect Dark to be aggressive. Well, so far, I think in both games, Dark was very aggressive, even though the second game it was a little bit later, but that was still a very aggressive opening. I was kind of shocked to hear that, because Dark, to me, always seems to be like the aggressive Zerg out there.
I agree.
But I really like what Elazer said, right? Because you know the Europeans, and they're very, very confident in their ZVZ, and they often even mock Korean ZVZ a little bit, because that's how confident they are. He's like, but on the other end, it's still Dark. And he's like, even if I don't like his strategies, his execution is so freaking good that I'm obviously worried, because you don't know how good they are until you play against them, and then suddenly, because they are so good, you cannot execute your own build anymore. And I think that's kind of a beautiful dynamic of StarCraft 2.
Well, one thing about Dark is he's pretty comfortable in any given situation. I mean, he's actually one of the best macro conservative Zergs on the planet. We just see him oftentimes open up for aggression to kind of get control of the matchup early on. By the way, once again, we do have a Baneling's Nest coming down here, but it's a Baneling's Nest on both sides.
Yep. I mean, obviously, Elazer is doing a different opening here because King's Cove, there's so many ways to attack here.
Yeah, 2 entrances here.
Yeah, can't really stay gastless, right? That'd be a bit crazy. So far, this is all the same. Now, the kind of aggression that I think is quite common for Dark as well is indeed around 26, 27 drones. Make a bunch of Zerglings. I don't know if he's going to stop or not, but Dark is so confident in his ability to just outplay these European Zergs that it's like, I just make nothing but Lings and Banes. Is this supposed to work? No, if it's get scouted, it's not supposed to work. But his execution, Nick, it's so good. Elazer needs to pick up on this right here, right now. He needs to start making defensive Banes. That's what he does. And if I was Elazer, I would make no more drones from this point on. Focus on defending.
I think you're absolutely right. Again, on this map, 2 different points of entry here. And so this threat is going to come in here immediately over to where this hatchery is. Now, it's very important that Elazer's Banelings connect with as many Zerglings as possible.
Yep, he already has a couple of Banelings here. Don't forget about the Banes that could potentially run into the natural. I mean, Dark always has multiple goals. That's not the way that Elazer wants to start this, but that's not the end of the world yet, because he still has his defensive Banelings.
Okay, we have that one last Baneling, about 1 Queen shot away from being picked off. The Queens are going to try to push forward here and terminate these Banes. Meanwhile, another attack coming around here in the other side. These Banelings headed towards these drones.
Yep, a lot of these drones seem very vulnerable. Dark is doing a really good job in avoiding the Banelings of Elazer. The amount of lost mining time here is already very big, but Elazer did a good job in saving the majority of his drones, but he can't afford to lose that hatchery, Tasteless.
As you can see, this hatchery is taking a lot of damage up here. It's at about 1/5 health. These Banelings on the side, still ready to be used. He's going to turn around to the top. The Banelings are going to come in, and it's so low, and it will go down.
Oh my goodness, that final Baneling? Was it the splash damage there?
It might have been.
That's ridiculous.
So crazy.
I mean, this now obviously is worth it for Dark in the end, right? Even gets a few more links there. Still has more Zerglings and Banelings out on the map. This is so funny. I think this is exactly what Elazer was talking about. He's not supposed to lose against builds like this, but once you go up against Dark, he's so fast, he's so good, his micro is so on point that he forces you to make mistakes.
And you can see Elazer's beginning to get pushed back further and further here. Again, losing that hatchery, that's also one production facility that you don't have. So the Lings from Dark are continuing to press forward, and now Dark has actually shifted gears. He's made a ton of drones behind this while he's continuing to put pressure over here at the natural of Elazer.
Yeah, Elazer definitely still in this. I mean, it's been painful. Losing that base is always a very, very big deal, but he did have the economic advantage for the majority of this game so far. So he kept the queens alive. Elazer is still... Oh, you gotta stop doing that, though.
Ouch, connecting over there. Again, that queen also getting very low. I feel like there's actually a chance that even though Dark is making almost entirely drones, that Dark could still come in here and pierce this third base once again, denying it from finishing.
Yeah, that's going to be quite difficult against the 4 Banes of Elazer there, but Dark is completely okay with this because he's now economically ahead, and Elazer doesn't even really know what's going on. I think at this point, Elazer is so tasked in defending that he doesn't know how big the economy is of Dark. Like, Elazer is hoping, Dark, are you still at like 28, 32 drones? No, he's at 50 because he's freaking Dark, okay?
And
that's when you know you're in trouble.
This is Dark with an actual advantage over here, and now these 2 queens are going to go down. Transfuses come in. Nice, good save there on those 2 queens. Again, this is the first game we see with Dark has a massive lead.
Yep.
Okay, we saw him lose with a failed all-in, and then we saw him recover with a pretty good defense there from Elazer. But this time around, it's going to be hard for me to imagine a series where Elazer comes out with a victory here.
The crowd loved that one. A lot of Banelings going down on either side. But I'm with you, Nick. I mean, you think back of how Thunderbird played out, and it's like, well, since Dark won that game, our game is going to play out where he's like basically has attack advantage, he's got an economy advantage, had an army advantage just right before he lost a couple of Banelings here and there. It's going to be very, very tough for Elazer, but I mean, Elazer is somebody from the European scene who plays an insane amount of ZVZ, and there are definitely ways to still come back in this matchup, but he's going to have to play his heart out.
Yeah, he really can't make any more mistakes from here. Again, Dark doing a very good job. Filtrating Lings in there one by one to confirm what exactly is going on.
Elazer is actually going to all-in this game. I don't know if it's a Roach speed all-in or a Nidus or maybe both, right? He might just run Roaches to the other side of the map. And that's maybe the only way that he can win. Because you look at the armies right now. Elazer's army is actually very big. No, Elazer goes back to droning. Why would he do that?
I'm not sure. I feel like he might be trying to do too much of a balancing act here because, yeah, he was already so behind there. Elazer's going to try to come out now, but Dark at the same time is also growing. So if Elazer's making drones, where Dark already had more drones, and then Dark's also making another hatchery, I don't see any avenue for Elazer to somehow get ahead.
Yeah, at least Elazer's move out kind of scared Dark here, so Dark was forced to cancel his 4th base, but Dark has been economically ahead for quite some time. Elazer needed to get something done with the army advantage he had. He still kind of has it, but now he's fighting on the other side of the map, and now the first Roaches are out. A little bit of a move command there by Dark. Still one Bailing in the mix, but I really don't like this anymore for Elazer. I feel like if you make that many units, you gotta go for it.
Yeah, you can't be wishy-washy in situations like this, and I think that's a little bit of what we're seeing here. Now, it is Dark pushed back onto 3 bases, so he's not going to get that 4th hatchery up. Elazer is taking a 4th hatchery of his own. Maybe he can try to step-by-step navigate this into a lead. But as Elazer's only just now catching up to Dark, we're also seeing that Dark's army is now bigger, and I'm wondering what a possible counterattack would look like here for if Dark were to simply try to push out and basically do the same thing to Elazer that Elazer did to him.
Yeah, Dark does have a Spire on the way as well though, right? I mean, there often are Spires that they don't use immediately. It's just more like, all right, I'm gonna see if I can make something happen with the Roaches. Do you have anti-air? No, you don't. Well, if I then have money in the bank, I can suddenly start making Muras. Obviously, these Lings are not getting an counter on the 4th base this time, so Elazer has definitely slowly but steady crawled his way back into this game. I think things look pretty rough at a certain point, but that move out and getting a cancel on the 4th base of Dark was, in the end, totally worth it.
Okay, here comes the Roach Ravager, moving forward.
There's a lot of money in the bank for Dark. I think he's trying to buy some time for the Muras. Good job there by Elazer in sniping 1 or 2 of those Overlords.
Yeah, these are basically for free right now.
But it's actually kind of nice for Dark, because Dark just wants time to go by, because he wants Muras to get out.
Very true, yeah. He just wants to buy a little bit more time, but now this attack's going to come in here. This is 100% going to get canceled.
That's big, though. That's the 2nd one, and that means that Dark is now still on 3 bases. What a fun little ZVZ series do we got so far. I feel like none of these games have truly made a lot of sense up to this point, but Yeah, Elazer is now absolutely back in this. Sure, the Muta count is going to be high, but the first Hydras are already on the way as well.
Yeah, whereas in the other game, the Hydras were not quite out in large amounts to where they could ever really address those Mutalisks. And this was a lot of gas banked up here for Dark. I mean, he's still able to make 7 more Mutas right now if he wants to. And I guess that being said, though, is the 4th base basically secure here? I mean, it would have to be Muta Harass that would win, not Mutas just stamping out that 4th.
Yeah, Elazer should have a couple of sports at home. He's building 3 sport crawlers right now, as we can see on the production tab. I really don't mind it that much anymore. Now, we know how good Dark is with his Mutas, so this doesn't mean that Elazer is going to run away with this game, but technically, Elazer is working towards a stronger army comp as well, right? With the Hydras already out, he's got a couple of Ravages on the field, getting the Lurker then. Technically, everything is starting to look pretty damn decent for Elazer. He even has an upgrade advantage, and his carapace is almost finishing up as well. So Dark has got some work to do again with his Mutas and Banelings, apparently.
Here we go. He's about to activate. We got a lot of Banelings coming down right now. One changing for Elazer, so he's going to know exactly what's coming for him here.
I mean, I wonder if he's going to wait for +2 missile attacks. Then again, then you
I
kind
don't
of
know.
Yeah,
I feel like that might be too late, but we'll see. He's about to show us. The Banelings are coming up. We have a lot of spines that are on the way, but they're not going to be finished, I believe, before this attack actually starts, as Dark is moving in right now.
Yeah, these Banes need to connect with the Sport Crawlers as well. I think that's very important. Dark can be indecisive, though. You gotta go. A couple of Mutas actually fighting these Hydras on the top side. Can we take a look at the Banelings? Dark is kind of like trying to trap Elazer here, and Elazer, is he taking the bait?
You can see the Banelings finally beginning to come forward here. They're trying to connect with those Hydras. Now moving down over towards that Ravage with the Mutas and the Roaches coming in.
Yeah, those Baneling connections were actually really good there in the end. I think that Dark did kind of shibait Elazer there into a fight that Elazer really shouldn't have taken. Elazer was 2 upgrades ahead, but he couldn't win the battle.
Yeah, that was beautifully executed there by Dark, as Dark's army is now flooding into the 4th base area. Still so many Mutas that are a threat in this game, and that may be just too much here. We have some more Roaches coming down, but we know that there are more Roaches headed northbound here to merge up with Dark's army here. And with the Mutas also hitting these Roaches that are chasing this army away, I just still don't think this can end well for Elazer.
Those Mutas are so annoying, right? They push out so much damage on these Roaches, and there's just nothing firing back. Now, a few more Hydras get produced, but Hydras are expensive. Elazer lost a lot of drones in the process as well. He still has 1 upgrade advantage, but doesn't really have any static defenses to fall back to. One of the Queens get picked up as well.
Yeah, by Biles, in fact. Dark with a maxed out army is beginning to thin out the small defenses that Elazer has, as we're seeing Roaches desperately get microed back as Mutas are dishing out too much damage air to ground. And I don't see how the 4th base is going to survive this. It seems like an inevitable tug of war that Dark is going to win.
Yep, I don't think anything is going to survive here for Elazer in the end.